Now, if this seems like I'm splitting hairs and I'm being snarky and I'm kicking a company while it's down, I'm not. I'm really not. I don't want it to come across that way. What I am pointing out is that an investor slide deck that a lot of people look at and executives read and a CEO is ultimately responsible for, I do believe they should know the difference between a strategy and a goal.
Put that coffee down.
Creators are leaders. Be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here.
Helen, we're both in sales.
Let me tell you why I sucked as a salesman.
They realized that to be in power, you didn't need guns or money or even numbers. You just needed the will to do what the other guy wouldn't.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Construction Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Bradley Hartmann. The title of today's episode is The Deafening Silence of Entekra's Closure and What It Means for Offsite Construction. A few months into my professional career at Pulte Homes, now Pulte Group, I was shown a video of the future of building. It was early winter in the year 2000. The time-lapse video showed our corporate cousins in action, Pulte Building Systems, as they built an Arizona home, well, they assembled the building envelope, on a slab in one day. The video begins as walls are craned in. People speedily race in and out of view. The trusses land as the sun slides past noon, sheathing is slapped on, windows and doors pop in the openings. One day of glorious productivity crammed into a 2-minute video. Look, man, the future is here, I was told. It's called offsite construction. And it looked pretty awesome. Jerked back to the reality of our 108-day build cycle, our decidedly non-Arizona climate, and our very much on-site construction, decentralized manufacturing with hundreds of people, thousands of products, and millions of variables, our homes under production were receiving their first dusting of snow. Being a clueless FNG, as I was called, which stands for new guy, which was harsh but accurate, I was told to begin lugging the crusty black blankets off the trailers stationed outside. These blankets, which were nothing like a blanket I've ever used, they had to be dragged out to each of the 24 recently installed concrete foundations so they wouldn't heave as the inevitable freeze set in. In a speech several years ago, Jerry McCaughey, the entertaining and insightful offsite Irish evangelist, compared modern home building, and much of commercial construction for that matter, to assembling a car in your driveway. I'm not going to do the Irish accent because I just can't. I want to, but I won't. He more or less said, from what I recall, "Why would you ever want to do that?" he said rhetorically. "That's not smart. Build it indoors in a climate-controlled environment. Assemble it into larger building units, and then deliver them to the job site to be installed in a fraction of the time." If the car analogy was going to resonate with anyone, it was Pulte leadership. Headquartered in the shadow of Detroit's Big Three, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, auto manufacturing analogies were common. Before I started in August of 2000, I was shipped 2 books to read: Customers for Life by Carl Sewell, a car dealer in Dallas, and The Deming Management Method by Mary Walton. Both books talked a lot about cars, not a single mention about construction. I learned of Entekra's demise from John McManus on his The Builder's Daily site. It was April 24th, 2023. The headline read, "Entekra to dissolve and shut down operations by June 30th. The subtitle was, "6-year-old offsite home construction juggernaut, lacking a big new capital investment infusion, becomes a casualty as majority owner LP, or Louisiana Pacific, focuses on its core OSB, siding, and structural solutions businesses." Being a fan of the offsite construction movement, Entekra, and McCaughey, I was stunned. I had a few questions. Now, didn't LP just dump a truckload of money into this company twice and become the majority owner in 2021? Why would they pull the plug so quickly? Was there no other suitor interested? Short answers were yes. LP invested $45 million in 2018 and then millions more in 2021. There were multiple reasons why the plug was pulled so quickly, and no, apparently not. There was no other interested suitor. Now, since late April, I've been asking more questions about offsite and Entekra. And here's 5 things I think. Number 1, interest rates are like gravity. The cost of capital was at historic lows in 2018 when LP invested $45 million. In 2021, when it reinvested to acquire a majority ownership of Entekra, money was essentially free. Well, not so much anymore, as the Fed has steadily raised rates post-pandemic. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, said, "Interest rates are to asset prices like gravity is to the apple. They power everything in the economic universe." Number 2, builders see the productivity curves too. Home builders aren't idiots. They see the same charts and graphs showing the declining productivity rate in the construction industry compared to every industry from agriculture to mining to retail. I asked a national purchasing buyer from one of the largest home builders, and no, it wasn't Pulte. I know other people at other companies. I asked him about the viability of offsite construction to date. In other industries, when you combine technology and innovation to drive automation and scale, he said, the costs go down. Except in offsite, it seems to only go up year after year after year. Number 3, the Billy Beane rule of common sense. In the film Moneyball, Billy Beane, played by Brad Pitt, challenges one of his scouts regarding a supposed top prospect that deserved consideration for one of their precious high draft picks.
Eddie, who do you got?
I like Geronimo.
Yes.
Hey, guy's an athlete, big, fast, talented.
Top of my list.
Clean cut, good face.
Yeah, good job.
5 tools time. Good looking ball player.
Can he hit?
Yeah, he's got a beautiful swing, right, Barry?
The ball explodes off his bat.
He throws the club head at the ball, and when he connects, he drives it. It pops off the bat. You can hear it all over the ballpark.
A lot of pop coming off the bat.
It's effort.
If he's a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good?
He is a good hitter.
Minor leaguer. He'll be ready.
Yeah, so he's going to be a good hitter when we put him up against big league guys.
Could be a great hitter.
I don't think so.
This kid needs some at-bats. You give him 400 at-bats, he's going to get better. He can play.
If offsite construction is so much better, and per Entekra's website, it's faster, better, smarter, and more sustainable, a proven process for productivity gains, then why wouldn't builders be more profitable using it? I asked a regional California builder why they didn't partner with Entekra. Here's what they said. We conducted a pair of long, intensive evaluations in 2018 and 2021. And the simple truth is that the math told us we'd be less profitable with offsite. Now, that's one builder's perspective on profitability. But what about Entekra? If offsite is so much better, why couldn't Entekra make money doing it? During a third quarter 2021 earnings call, Louisiana Pacific CEO Brad Southern highlighted the fact that Entekra was, quote unquote, gross profit positive in the quarter. To me, that sounds like Entekra was net profit negative in the quarter. If a company isn't profitable and its products and services don't make its customers more profitable, then this result is unsurprising. Number 4, about LP's stated strategy. Read goal. In an investor slide deck from May 13th, 2021, the question as a headline reads, what is LP's strategy? The answer, quote unquote, to transform from a commodity forest products company to a leading and growing specialty building solutions company. This is not a strategy, and I don't mean to be snarky here, but that's a goal or an aspiration. It's not a strategy. Now, adjacent to this Q&A, there are 4 primary bullet points detailing how they plan to achieve it. Now, those bullet points are strategic. It details how they'll achieve their stated goal. A goal is what you are trying to achieve. A strategy is how you will try to achieve it. Now, if this seems like I'm splitting hairs and I'm being snarky and I'm kicking a company while it's down, I'm not. I'm really not. I don't want it to come across that way. What I am pointing out is that an investor slide deck that a lot of people look at and executives read and a CEO is ultimately responsible for, I do believe they should know the difference between a strategy and a goal. The CEO's primary job is to ensure clarity of focus. What are we trying to do and how are we trying to do it? And if any part of that is unclear, you can see how flushing $50 million plus down the drain can happen. Number 5, good ideas do come from abroad. In the mid-19th century, Andrew Carnegie witnessed the Bessemer steel process in action in England. Immediately recognizing its potential to improve steel production, faster, better, smarter, and more sustainable, a proven process for productivity gains, you could argue, Carnegie brought it to the United States. The Bessemer process made Carnegie one of the world's wealthiest men, transformed the construction industry, and changed the trajectory of the nation. McCaughey often cites the success of offsite construction in Europe. He challenges American audiences by saying that the problem isn't offsite construction. It's the limited thinking of American homebuilders.
So yesterday, I asked the question, so what's different this time? Well, one of the things that's different this time is Jerry McCaughey. He has done this before, and he's been very successful at it. In 1990, he started up Century Homes in a small factory in a small town in Ireland. By 2005, Century Homes had 3 large factories in Ireland and 2 more in the UK, and were producing 8,000 houses a year. They were the largest off-site builder in Europe. Jerry sold Century Homes, and now he's doing it all over again in California with Entekra. I'll let Jerry take it from here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome yet another pioneer, Jerry McCaughey.
Offsite construction has been around for a long time, and it has been very, very successful in other parts of the world. It's North America that's the issue. It's not offsite construction. That's a fact. So we need to be careful in saying that. We talk about what we're going to do in the future. I mean, a lot of what we're talking about doing here has actually already been done.
If you've spent any time in the construction industry, you've heard the infamous 1-2 punch of inertia. 1, this is the way we've always done it. And 2, tried it before, didn't work. This is not a construction problem. It's a human nature problem. In the global economy, new ideas are presented and adopted by humans faster than ever before. Beyond innovation, one must integrate marketing, sales, and good old back-of-the-napkin math in order to change buying behavior. As an area purchasing manager for over 5 years, I was introduced to dozens of plausible innovations that could save time and money. The most common obstacle was it was left up to me, the buyer, to do the hard work of marketing, selling, and developing the good old back-of-the-napkin math. But I already had a full-time job. Now, it sounded something like this. The sales rep says, "You know, Hartmann, this innovation will save you $1,000 per home in reduced carpentry labor costs." I'd say, "Okay, great. So you've spoken to the carpenter and he's agreed? And the 2 of you have already worked out the reduction in his labor hours, showing how all 3 of us win while reducing house costs by $1,000 per unit?" "Well, no." "Oh, okay. Who's going to do that hard work? Do you expect me to do that?" Changing hearts and minds is hard work. I get it. But if you're leaving that work up to the buyer, it's probably not going to work out well. As Andrew Carnegie said himself, you cannot push anyone up a ladder unless he's willing to climb a little himself. Number 6, offsite and the EV analogy. 30 years ago, I read about the future of electric vehicles, or EVs, in my social studies book. That's right. I'm so old, I was issued real books in grade school. Ah, the good old days. This was the future of auto manufacturing. Now, incredible progress has been made. Despite Elon Musk's lack of focus at Tesla, the former big 3 are now building EVs. Rivian and Lucid have attracted millions of dollars in funding and are capturing market share. It's progress. And yet, EVs account for less than 1% of all new vehicle sales in the US. There's an inevitability to EVs at scale, but it's a long road. As the venture capital cliche goes, being early is the same as being wrong. Now, I believe there's an inevitability to offsite construction at scale, but it will be a long build cycle. In a May TikTok post from McCaughey, a grainy video depicts a 1950s era pit crew slowly changing tires on a race car. Above the video, it read, "Stick framing in the 21st century." The video then transitions to a modern F1 pit crew installing 4 new tires in a second. Above this pit crew were the words, "Framing using FiOS by Entekra." Entekra trademarked and registered the acronym FiOS. It stands for Fully Integrated Offsite Solution. Now, I believe FiOS will play a critical role in the future of construction, but sadly, not the trademarked and registered FiOS by Entekra. For all the innovation and forward momentum generated by Entekra, McCaughey, and LP, the humble blocking and tackling of business remain critical. Warren Buffett, whose Berkshire Hathaway owns MyTech, an offsite software developer, once joked about the fundamentals of business, even and especially within the innovative roles. The sign above the player's entrance to the field at Notre Dame reads, "Play like a champion today." I sometimes joke that the sign at Nebraska reads, "Remember your helmet." Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime number 2, Charlie and I are remember your helmet kind of guys. We like to keep it simple. The demise of Entekra was probably precipitated by numerous factors, but the simple truth may be that it failed to generate sufficient free cash flow to fuel its own growth. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for listening. We're going to close out with our leadership mantra. You, my friend, are owed nothing. Deliver value first.